Hello, my travelers! Are you planning an upcoming river cruise and wondering what the food is like? Today I'm revealing all the secrets about what's served on an Avalon river cruise. Overall, I want to say the food on an Avalon river cruise is very good. I've been fortunate enough to take 2 river cruises. One was in June of 2018, which was on the Danube. And then lately, just recently, I was on the Seine in May of 2023. So in both instances, the food was quite good. I would call it very good food without being stuffy. Now, some of you may also know I'm celiac. I have to eat gluten-free, otherwise I get very sick. And Avalon was very good at accommodating my food allergies that way. Now, some of the pictures I'm going to show you are from the first trip. Some are from the second. Some are even from my husband's food. So you may see some gluten items listed there. In any case, let's take a little bit of a closer look at this food. Breakfast was served buffet style, but there was a small set menu that you could order from if you didn't like what was on the buffet. One morning, I even got gluten-free croissants, which was amazing, but they'd only bring in a limited amount, and I only got them one day, so that's fine. The rest of the time, I did get gluten-free bread with pretty much every meal. Now, alternatively, you could also order room service for breakfast for no additional charge. This is part of your river cruise fare with Avalon. Now, unfortunately, they couldn't do this gluten-free, even though we requested it, but that's okay. It was still totally fine. My husband really enjoyed the breakfast, and we got to eat in bed and watch the world float by. Lunch was also done buffet style, though it had a small menu like breakfast that you could order from if you didn't like what was on the buffet. This included burgers and fries. So if you just, you know what, I'm just done with French food, I just want a hamburger, you could absolutely order that. One thing to point out on Avalon, they always had the most amazing soups. Even if you aren't a soup person, try the soups. The soups were so good. I love soup, and the soup was amazing. They always had 2 different kinds every day for lunch, and other soups for supper as well. Loved it. Now, often for lunch, you were in port. So, it might have made more sense to visit a local restaurant. This was at your own expense, of course. But there's some amazing options in doing this, especially to get more immersed in the location that you are. I do highly recommend having lunches in your destination if possible. Now, finally, another alternative for lunch was a picnic lunch. Not a lot of people know about this. You do need to order it the day before, but it is a lovely option. You'll want to coordinate it to a day where, you are in port and it's supposed to, check and see what the weather's going to be like. But it is a lovely, cute option. Unfortunately, they couldn't do it gluten-free for me. That's okay. Totally fine. We still had amazing lunches. Supper was in the main dining room for the most part, and it was a 4-course meal. You had a starter, a soup, a main, and a dessert. Now, you could ask for alternatives if you didn't like the options that were on the menu. There were some, usually 3 or 4 options for each of those courses. Portions did seem a bit small, but once you actually got through all 4 courses, you were generally quite full. And if you weren't full, you could always ask for 2 entrees or 2 desserts or 2 starters. You could absolutely ask for that. So no problem with that. I did end up with a couple of times when I did have 2 desserts. So desserts were really good for me. The alternative for supper is you could go up into the Panorama Lounge and go to the Panorama Bistro, where they have like small little portions, more buffet style, but it's small little portions of what they're serving downstairs. So you could kind of taste almost everything that was being served in just little tiny small portions. It was a bit quieter up here. The food isn't served as buffet style, so you just help yourself. So it's a lot more casual and quiet. Unfortunately, again, it doesn't really work for allergies because they can't guide you through what's gluten-free, what's what's not. As I said, it is serve yourself, so it's a bit more casual. I didn't do this. We always ended up eating in the main dining room, which was totally fine. So yes, as you can kind of tell, I did enjoy the food on Avalon. It was really good. They handled my allergy really well. My husband as well, he really enjoyed the food too. Both of us enjoyed that. Part of it was a bit more casual. It wasn't all sit down and order. We are, overall more casual people. So having that buffet for lunch and for breakfast, we actually enjoyed that. My husband loves buffets. That's his favorite thing ever. He loves picking and choosing what he likes to eat. So anyways, now, especially the food was phenomenal, really, on our last cruise. The Seine cruise, really good food. Really good. Like, we were stuffed at the end of it. Now, a lot of this does have to do with who the head chef is. Avalon is very good. They don't have a ton of ships, so they are able to be a little bit more particular about who they hire. And especially for the head chefs, they're generally very good. Your experience could vary depending on the chef that's on board. This is true with any river cruise line, but overall, very good experiences on Avalon. I would recommend for food if you're okay with having, some that are a bit more casual. Some people love that. Some people would much more prefer to have it served, a served set meal, which is totally fine. Now, you don't have a set dining time. The dining room opens at 7, and most people would go down at that point in time. Not everybody did, and you are welcome to enter the dining room at any point in time. One thing I do love about Avalon is that in the main dining room, there are seats for every guest on board. So it's not like you're waiting for seats to become available. No. You just go in whenever you want. Love that concept. I think it's a very good way of doing things for the main dining room. That being said, as I said, most people would go down right at 7 when the dining room opened. And a big reason for that is so that they could get the table that they wanted. Some tables have 2, some have 4, some 6, 8, up to 10 people. So if you wanted a particular table, then you would want to be downstairs to be able to get it, because there are limited tables with those seats, especially those 10-seaters. Try to get those, because we were, ended up making friends with a group, and we tried to get those and we weren't able to. So it's fine. It's totally fine. And if you want something a bit more casual than a 4-course dinner for supper, you are welcome to go up to the Panorama Bistro in the Panorama Lounge. Up there, they would have a bit more of a casual, kind of like a finger food meal or a finger food buffet. What they do is they take the meals that they're serving downstairs and make little tiny portions of them. So you could pick and choose whatever you wanted. So if something, nothing really appealed as what you wanted on the menu for that night, you could go try the Panorama Bistro. It was much quieter up there. Not as many people did that. But it was a great option to be able to pick and choose little things, and just, especially if you had a really big lunch and you were full, which did happen, you could go up and do that. That is not as good for allergies. I didn't go out there. It's a bit more difficult to either have something modified to be gluten-free or free of the allergy that you're looking at. So I probably wouldn't recommend it for allergies. The main dining room is your best option for that. Now, the one thing I did especially love, and this is true with all river cruises, but on those nights when you would sail while you were dining, those are some magical nights, especially if the weather is beautiful and you got this most gorgeous sunset and you're just sailing along on the rivers and you're seeing these little villages float by. Honestly, it's just, everything's perfect at that moment in time, So yes, this is the food that I experienced on Avalon. I hope you've enjoyed going through some of the different meals with me. One thing I'm doing, please visit the blog post. I will be putting up the paper copies, well, not the paper copies, but the images of what we would receive as our menus. So you can have a little bit of a better idea of what options are available. Just a few menus just to see what's listed there. Now, if you have any questions or comments, be sure to post below. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Would love to see some new subscribers. Click that like button. And then when you're ready to start planning your amazing river cruise adventure, don't hesitate to reach out to me by email or by phone. I am a river cruise specialist as a travel agent, and I love planning river cruise vacations. This is Alicia with Evening Star Travel. You have a wonderful day.